Hi all, welcome to Inch online fashion designing class. Today let us see how to do a kurta opening. So this kurta opening comes on the center front of the garment. So first decide on the length of the opening. So here I have drawn a center line AB which is 7.5 inches. So AB is the center front line and this is 7.5 inches. I have constructed another two parallel lines from the center line and I have named it as CD, which is half an inch away from the center line. Similarly, EF is half an inch away from the center line AB. So construct a rectangle like this. I'll repeat it one more time. AB is the center front line which is 7.5 inches here, and from this center line I have gone out half an inch on either sides and drawn two more parallel lines. So all these markings are done on the wrong side of the garment. So now I will be giving two rows of machine stitch on both the sides of the center line just to keep the lining and the main fabric in position, because you need to cut along the center line. And from B you go up 1 inch and mark B dash. So B to B dash is 1 inch up. So from B dash you join F to B dash and similarly D to B dash. So you need to cut along the center line till B dash and then cut along the diagonal lines, that is A B dash F and then B dash D. So before cutting on the line you need to give two rows of stitching here so that the main fabric and the lining are together. So now let us cut two placket pieces. So you need these placket pieces to complete the opening. So I have cut two placket pieces. So the length of the placket is equal to the length of the opening plus 2 inches more. So the length here is 7.5 inches plus 2 inches makes it 9.5. So the length of the placket here is 9.5 inches. So the width of this opening is 1 inch here. We have half an inch, another half an inch. So that makes it totally 1 inch. So you need to cut the width of the placket twice the width of the opening. So you need 1 inch here and again 1 inch behind. So that makes it 2 inches. And again you need half an inch to stitch the opening on the front and again another half an inch to stitch on the back. So totally 1 inch of seam allowance. So the total placket piece is 2 inches plus 1 inch of seam allowance. So totally this width is 3 inches. So you need to cut two placket pieces 3 inches wide and 9.5 inches in length. Cut along the center line AB and the two diagonal lines. So you need to stop exactly at point F and point D. Don't go beyond these points or don't end it before. You need to notch exactly at these 2 points. So let us turn the fabric to the right side. So decide on which side you're going to have the extension piece and the overlapping piece. So I'm going to have the extension piece on this side. So I'm going to complete the extension piece first. The right side of the extension facing the wrong side of the main garment. So when you're matching the extension, when you're matching the placket piece to the main garment, you put it in such a way that it is at least half an inch beyond the neckline. So match the center front and the placket piece together and stitch exactly with half an inch. So the right side of the placket facing the wrong side of the main garment. You need to stitch exactly on the half an inch line, don't take in more. So when you're ending here at point F, you need to stop exactly at point F. So you push the main garment away and continue till the end. You need to continue till the end. Now press the seam allowance flat towards the placket piece. Press it flat towards the placket piece. If you could, you can iron it. Now fold the seam allowance of the extension piece 1/2 inch inside, and you need to place this in such a way that it covers the stitch exactly. Don't overlap it too much. So this should be just enough for the stitch to get covered. So fold the seam allowance and then place it over the machine stitch which we have given, and check out whether the width of the placket is 1 inch. Pin it up in position and then you can continue stitching. So after pinning the placket piece in position, you need to stitch exactly at the edge of the fold. So the extension piece is completed. So this piece has to go behind. So this piece has to go behind. Similarly, you need to complete on the other side also. So here the difference between a t-shirt opening and a kurta opening is just the triangle design which comes on the center front. So in kurta opening you need to form a triangle. So assume that I have completed the other side also. So now here you need to form a triangle here. So this forming a triangle is a kurta opening. In case if you are going to push both the pieces behind, and you need to push the triangle piece also inside. So now this becomes a t-shirt opening. So you could see a box kind of a stitch with an into design. So that becomes a t-shirt opening. So if you form a triangle, that becomes a kurta opening. So here for a kurta opening, having too many layers of fabric, it is very difficult to form triangle because there are too many layers here. So this becomes heavy. So there is another way to complete the triangle. So for that, take the other placket piece, put it right side facing right side, fold it in half, and you need to draw a triangle. So come in 1/2 inch. From the sides you need to just come in 1/2 inch because that is the seam allowance that you need to attach the placket piece to the garment. So you just have to take the midpoint of this and draw a triangle. So the midpoint is, you need to exclude the seam allowance, and the remaining is where you take the midpoint. So you leave 1/2 inch. So the remaining measurement would be 1 inch. So you take a triangle like this. You need to stitch on the triangle. So the depth of the triangle could be 3/4 inch, or no, 1 inch is actually more. So this 3/4 inch is fine. Don't have less than 3/4 inch or more than 1 inch. So you stitch a triangle here. So I think you could see it better on the other side. So you just have to stitch on this V shape. So don't stitch into the seam allowance here. So exclude the seam allowance and take the midpoint of the remaining placket and form a V shape. So this depth can be 3/4 inch, and form a V shape, and now I have to cut the excess fabric. So when you're cutting here, you need to cut it straight. Cut it straight and then go V shape. Don't cut it as a V shape here, then it will be difficult to join the placket to the main fabric. So this has to be a straight cut and then it goes V shape. And now, as always, wherever you have a pointed stitch, you need to cut out the fabric straight like this, because the fabric will get deposited into this V here. So cut off the excess fabric so that this portion will remain flat after turning it to the right side. So this portion is ready. So when you are going to take out the corners, use a pin. Don't push it with a pencil, as the shape might get distorted. You will not get a pointed shape. Use a safety pin or a seam ripper to turn out the pointed edges. So now this is flat because we have cut off the excess fabric inside. So this is flat. So now this you have to join it to the main garment. So on the main garment, I'm going to hold this, that is the right side facing the wrong side of the main garment, and I'm going to start from point D. I'm not going to start from the neck edge because this triangle has to end exactly at point D. You shouldn't go beyond point D. So I'll place this placket in such a way that it matches with point D, and now I will stitch with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. Bring the placket to the right side, pin it up in position. So push the extension piece to the wrong side along with the triangle piece. So you have this triangle piece, push it inside. Push it inside. So this is how the opening looks. So first you have to stitch the straight edge. First complete the straight edge and then put this piece over the extension piece, and now you need to stitch on the triangle. So you just have to come along the V shape, go up straight for at least 1/2 inch and then give a horizontal stitch. So by giving this horizontal stitch, you don't see the triangle piece which is hidden inside. So now the straight edge is stitched. So you just have to place it one over the other and stitch, come down straight for 1/2 inch, stitch along the V shape, go up 1/2 inch and give a horizontal stitch. So there are two ways to complete this V shape, as I have told earlier. So this V shape can be stitched before attaching it to the opening, or you can complete the placket piece just like how we did the extension piece. So you can just complete it the same way on the other side too, and then you can fold the placket piece to form a triangle. So when you're forming this triangle here, this triangle becomes bulky because there are too many layers. So all you need to do is you have to trim the pieces inside. Don't have too many layers, so trim it inside so that it is not thick. So you can do it this way also. So when you push both the plackets to the wrong side, along with the triangle piece, so this becomes a t-shirt opening. So when the placket piece is exactly 1 inch, then the bottom edge would remain flat without any differences or pull. In case if you're going to have the placket piece smaller than the required measurement, then you will get a gap like this. Or if you have the placket piece more than 1 inch, then probably this you might get a pull here at the corner. So when the placket is exactly to the opening, that is 1 inch, then the corner will turn out neat. So you just have to give a horizontal stitch. So you can either give the horizontal stitch on the main fabric, on the right side of the main fabric, or you can just hold all the layers together and turn the garment away and hold the triangle piece and the extension pieces together and give a stitch here, so that you don't see any stitches on the right side. So the extension piece and the triangle piece, the placket piece and the triangle piece are secured in position. So the stitch is completed here. So you can just cut off the excess fabric on the neck edge. So this is how it looks after giving a horizontal stitch here. So on the wrong side also you will have a neat finish. So in our next video, let us see how to attach a stand collar to the neckline. Thank you.